What's up, y'all? So this week we're going to be looking at James 1 verses 2 through 4, and then we're going to jump down to verse 12. I recommend everybody reading the entire book of James. There's a lot of guidance and a lot of wisdom in it for believers, as far as just like how Christians should conduct themselves. A lot of wisdom on making it through life in a wise way. Even if you're not a Christian, great book to read for guidance. So James is written to the 12 tribes that are no longer in Israel. So he's basically writing to the people who don't necessarily have there's going to be a lot of opposition where they're at. There's going to be a lot of adversity in their day-to-day life due to their environment. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. Starting in verse 2, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." And jumping down to 12. "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him." So what we're getting from this here is, as things bump against your boundaries, as you're facing adversity in life, as you're going through spiritual battles or anything like that, I'll always remain faithful. As you remain faithful, you're going to become unwavering in your faith. The definition of steadfastness is basically immovable belief or unwavering faith. So it's no different than working out, or, I've done a little bit of dabbling in ultra marathon running. I don't care what mile you're on. Nothing's harder than that first mile when you're first learning how to train. It's new to you, and it's no different than your faith. As you go through different battles or new things testing you, over time it becomes easier. Over time you've built a set of tools to be able to accommodate that. You've built a foundation of faith in your life that you depend on, that you rely on, that really supports and guides all things in your life. And verse 12 is basically telling us that we're going to be rewarded for that. We have eternal salvation through Jesus, and you build up a lifetime of faith. I mean, it obviously doesn't matter how long you have your faith, as long as you're saved before your time of death. Obviously you're inheriting the kingdom of God, but verse 12 is telling us it's all going to be worth it. You live your life, build your life on faith, and you'll have a reward for it. Not that you're earning your salvation by any means in that fact, but it's basically just saying that it's going to be worth it in the end. And so that's about all I have for this week. Just want to encourage you in that, allow your faith to work in you. And that's just a welder's perspective on that. So I appreciate it. See y'all next week.